On today's edition of The Front Row, we are at the Lubbock Public Media Studios in the Lubbock Cultural District downtown, and our special guest is James Eppler, who's well known in our artistic and media community. James, thank you so much for donating your time and being on The Front Row today.
Happy to be here and excited to talk about this.
Hey, well, one of the things, many things that you do in the community is you're involved with art and culture, and part of that is Lubbock Music Now. And there's a new product out, but if you would, give us a little bit of historical context. What is this? How did it begin? And what does it involve?
So this is a project of the Civic Lubbock, Inc., which is a board appointed by the city of Lubbock. And we are a 501c3 that supports local arts and entertainment. We do the West Texas Walk of Fame. So we induct people into the Walk of Fame every year. And we got to thinking, why are we waiting to acknowledge these great artists until they leave Lubbock and have great careers? There are fantastic artists who live and work here, providing a soundtrack to our nights out. They may be playing at a restaurant or a bar, and you may be going to see them, or they may be just playing while you eat. But these are talented artists, and we think they deserve recognition. So in 2016, we launched Lubbock Music Now, and the idea was to collect original music from people living, working here, playing music here, and compiling an album every year as sort of a time capsule of local music.
Well, that explains a lot that I didn't know, and I'm sure our listeners didn't know as well. What a great idea to support these artists and help them do their thing.
We think so. My brother was a musician here for many years, and he always felt underappreciated. And I get the feeling that a lot of local musicians may feel that way. So this is recognition from the city of Lubbock. And artists who are chosen for this album, the way the process works, we just put out a call every year and say, hey, if you are a working musician here in Lubbock, you're playing gigs, send us one of your original songs. And we compile all those songs. We have a committee of current and former members of the Texas Grammy Board who do a blind listen to our submissions for the year, and they choose the songs for the album that year. So that's how that process works. Once artists are selected, they do get a paycheck from Civic Lubbock, Inc. We believe that artists need to be paid for their work, and so they get a $200 check from Civic Lubbock as payment for that. We sell the album that we compile every year, but every dollar that we make on Lubbock Music Now, the album or t-shirts or anything else that we sell connected to it, goes right back into future years of this so that we can continue to make this a self-sustaining project. And this is our 9th album. So we started this in 2016, and it's just rolling along.
That's great. And I love what you said about the criteria, local artist, original music. Is that right?
Well, we can't do covers because I know there is an art to doing covers and putting your signature on someone else's work. But because of royalties and things like that, this does need to be original music.
Right.
But it also is really a cool thing to celebrate original music because there's just something about Lubbock that is fodder for good stories and good songs. And we have a rich heritage from, Buddy Holly to Mac Davis to Joe Ely and Natalie Maines and so many others whose names are on the Walk of Fame. Well, these folks here are the next generation. And some of them have just chosen to stay here for whatever reason and continue making music. So we've featured some artists on Lubbock Music Now a number of years. We've had some repeat artists, but what's cool about this is we continue to get new artists on the album every year because we have South Plains College, we have Texas Tech. It's almost like an incubator for great talent. And so we can continue doing this project because we're never going to run out of great music here in Lubbock, Texas.
It's really remarkable for all the reasons that you said. And it's great to see the support from Civic Lubbock. And I also know that organizations like the Lubbock Cultural Foundation are doing workshops to connect singer-songwriters to available gigs so that we get more and more of this. I love that kind of collaboration, and it's really successful, and it makes Lubbock a greater place to live.
We want to provide as many opportunities for local artists to be successful because I believe that having a great art scene isn't just about enriching our culture. I really do believe it is an economic driver. And it improves the quality of life, and it makes people understand that living in Lubbock boy, there's so much to do and see here, and this album every year celebrates it. Something cool about Lubbock Music Now, 4 years ago, we expanded this project where it's not just an album you can stream or put into your CD player. We now have a TV show that accompanies it. So it airs every weekend on Fox 34 News Now, Saturdays and Sundays. We have the times for you on our Facebook page on Lubbock Music Now. But we bring these artists in and they perform the song that's on the album. And we have 5 episodes this year featuring all of the artists who are on our album.
Great. Well, tell us a little more specifically about this year's album. What's unique to it? Who are some of the folks on it?
Well, the most obvious thing about it is who's on the cover. Now, we commissioned Dirk Fowler, a member of the West Texas Walk of Fame, a well-known graphic artist, to do our album cover every year. And he's been doing that for us since 2018. This year was special because this was our first year to produce an album without Don Caldwell. He and I have been involved with this on Civic Lubbock since the beginning. And it was tough. It was bittersweet for us, but we knew that we could not miss a year just because we're missing Don. And Don is on the cover of our album this year. It celebrates his legacy in a way because Don was always such a huge supporter of local music and making sure the artists here were appreciated and seen. And so he's on the cover of our album this year, the artwork by Dirk Fowler. I know this is radio. Please go to the Lubbock Music Now Facebook page and Instagram, and you'll see the great artwork that he did. In terms of the album itself, something that's always been important to me is recognizing that Lubbock music isn't just Texas country, even though that's a great genre and we have a lot of history with it. Boy, Lubbock has so many different types of music. We have a hip hop community here. We have a rock and alternative and country and gospel and things like that. All of those genres are recognized on this album that is 21 songs. I don't count my introduction as one of the songs, but there are 21 tracks on this album featuring names that you probably know, like Hannah Jackson and Carrie C. Banks. Those are names you know, Dustin Garrett, but then also some newer ones like Young Rep and Johnny Keys has been on our album. Jojo DeSalvo is new this year. Jojo DeSalvo has this great, rough, gritty voice, and he's singing about whiskey on this album, and it sounds like he's been on a bender. But boy, it just is such a good song. It's a banger, as the kids like to say. I'm really excited about the group of artists that we've put together this year for the album. Don isn't just on our cover, too. We have a memorial track, a song that he wrote called Futures Song, and you hear some of his sax playing on there as well.
Great. For folks who are interested, how can they obtain the product?
If they would like a hard copy of the album, and man, God bless you, if you're still listening to CDs out there, if your vehicle still has a CD player, we have CDs available for you. You can get those through Select-A-Seat online. There's a link for you. If you're just streaming music on Spotify, Apple, however you do that, it is available to listen to right now. And the TV show as well on Fox 34 News Now, Saturdays and Sundays.
Great. Sounds great. I know that y'all look ahead and work ahead, and I'm sure there's already plans in place for next year. If I'm a singer-songwriter and I want to do a submission, what do I do?
Great question. civiclubbock.org or lubbockmusicnow.com. We have a little form. It's a one-page form to fill out just to let us know who you are and tell us about your song. Send that in to us, and you can get on the list for next year. We are taking song submissions right now.
Excellent. James Eppler is just man about town when it comes to art and our community and media and all the things. And we really want to thank you so much for being our guest on the front row today.
It's my pleasure, and thank you for helping us get the word out about this great project.